This is the Wealthy Investor Show, where we don't just talk about your wealth, we also talk about your holistic health. I'm your host, Mattias.
And I'm Erica.
And this is the Wealthy Investor. Hola, hola. I am Mattias Clymer, the host of the Wealthy Investor, and I'm here with my good friend, Ronald Flores. Ronald Flores is a high producing top agent in my area, in my firm. He's been a really good friend for a while. He's one of the people that got me into investing or into flipping specifically. So I'm super excited about having Ronald on the show. He's got an infectious, bubbly personality. You just want to be better and more energetic and happier person when you're around him. So Ronald, thank you so much for coming on here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me, you and this. Yes, I'm going to talk about what is successful and what is investing and a little bit of my story, how you can come up from the nothing to be whoever you want to be.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah, Ronald, so tell us a little bit about where you came from in El Salvador, what your living situation was like then.
Sure. I grew in El Salvador, we didn't have electricity or water, so I had to go to the mountains to cut wood from my mom to cook food, and I also had to carry water from a well to my house. I was living in a really limited situation where it was really poor, my family. It didn't stop me to always think big. Don't let your environment, your situation, stop you to think and big. You always have to think big, and you always think you can be the best and work for. So actually, I used to live in El Salvador almost until I was 18, and it was really hard. But I worked so hard over there to be able to accomplish my biggest dream, that was to come to the US. Because due to the situation that we had in El Salvador with the gangsters, and it was a dangerous country, so I didn't have no choice than leave El Salvador and come to the US. And to be able to come over here, I had to work so hard. I had to make $1,000, save it, when over there you only make $3 or $4 back then per day.
Yeah.
My mom, she had to sell her stove and to give me $50 to bring to the US.
Yeah.
And those things are really value to me, because I come from the Nati now. I appreciate where I am, and I'm thankful. And I always like to share my story. I have to encourage people to succeed, to see my friends grow and be successful. That's the thing now. So it was really hard when I lived in El Salvador, but I never gonna play the victim. Like I was so poor and poor me. No, it was not my fault where I live, but it's my fault where I am now. It's the same thing. It's not your fault where you born, where you grow, and what kind of environment you grow. But it's now your fault to where you are, because you are already an adult. You take your decision, you take your actions, and it's your life that you need to decide for. Yes, whoa.
I love it. Total ownership of your outcome. So if you take total complete control of your outcomes, that will enable you to take control of your day-to-day situation, and that will, if you have a successful life, that's because you've worked hard and you've taken ownership of it. If you haven't, maybe you need to look at what you're doing to change it. So I love it. Complete ownership. One of the, if you don't mind me, Ronald has told me his story from coming from El Salvador to the US before. And it's like the paperclip game, if you will, the story where you start with a paperclip and you trade up to something else, and then you end up with a car.
Sure. I will tell you the little part, man.
Yeah.
So it was really hard, because I had to have $1,000. I had to save $1,000 to be able to do it. I was working a really hard job. I was working as a helper in construction. There was those big trucks where you had to unload and load material. You had to shovel gravel to the car, because we didn't have no tractors over there like over here. So it was really physically demanding job. But so I bought a piece of equipment because I want to build a DJ. So I bought it. I spent about 500. I would say it was about 500 colones. So it was about, I don't know, maybe $50, $70 money US. And I started building like a DJ. So I got the DJ built up and we was making parties and all that stuff with the DJ because the people from my country is actually those people who like to dance. I built that DJ and so that DJ I sold it for it was about $500 like US dollar, yes.
Mhm.
And then with those $500 I bought a car. So I bought a car for 500. It was $500 the car. So that car, I did some cleanup and I sold it for $750. So then I had to save up to make the $1,000, and I did it. It was really
Amazing.
hard with the limitation and with the money that you make over there. It was really hard. I had a target, I had a goal, I had a dream. That my dream I was bigger than those hard jobs that I had it because I know that that's what I want to achieve. And
Ronald,
then the day, yes,
oh, sorry. I was just going to say you started off with the paperclip, or not even, because you really started off with the sweat of your own back, right? To earn some money, and you turned it into
exactly,
a multimillionaire.
yes. Then I had to like so when I had that $1,000 that I needed to come to the US,
Yep.
and then but I didn't have no money like to bring here. So my mom, she had to sell her stock, her grill, and where she make the pupusas and
Oh man.
tortillas. And then it was like a heartbreaking for me because I love so much my parents, my mom,
Hmm.
and I say, when I go to the US, I will buy her a bigger stove and bigger stuff. And I did it. But when I came here, so I came to the US and I came to work really hard. It was a really hard situation because this one probably haven't I never had told before. But when I was living in El Salvador, it was really hard the situation that we had there that my parents had to do alone for over their house. And that was mean when that happened, that was probably I was 10, 11 years old. My parents was not able to pay the loan back due to their situation, and we lost the house we were living.
Mm.
By mercy, the person who bought the house let us live in the house. We was homeless, and I remember like over there, like the criticism from people, how they judge you, how
Right.
they attack you because you was losing your house, and how they judge you. That statement was really hurt, really hurt. It was really hurtful because they was like saying, now see, you don't have anything, you're on the street and stuff like that. I never played the victim. I took it. It really hurt me. It really marked my life. But I use all those stuff as a gasoline, work for my dreams. I say, I don't want this kind of life. My life is gonna be different because I will have the control of my life. So I want to step out. I want to be different from my family. I have a lovely parents, but
Hmm.
probably the financing was the worst.
Sure.
And then I worked really hard since I was probably like 10 years old. I started working. Over here, we'll say child abuse or stuff like that, or labor. But no, I just want to work. I want to have my money. And that's how I started work since I was like 10 years old. But when I came to the US, I had a goal set up. So I came here. I was 18 years old. I could like forget everything that I had in El Salvador and they
Nice.
share parties and stuff like that. No, but the first thing that I did was I enrolled in a community college to learn English that was in California because I lived 2 years in California. But the college was pricey, was expensive, and
Yeah.
I couldn't afford it. Just one job that I had it. So I had to get a second job. I had to have two jobs to be able to pay my tuitions and my own expenses because I didn't have no parents here to help me. My brother was helping me, but I had to pay my own rent, my own food, and stuff like that. And for those 2 years, it was really hard because I was not able to buy nice clothes. I had to go to the Swami to buy clothes. And I remember my only reward that I had was I had a reward that was on Fridays. I always went to buy one order for tacos, man. So that order of tacos, I was buying those tacos on Friday.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And
I was going to say,
and
Ronald, that you have such a great the maybe a little bit traumatic of an experience of your parents losing your house is probably a defining moment for you, and maybe a, like you said, gasoline for your motivation on a day to day. But what a powerful thing to keep in mind if you're going through a really hard time, which we all do, right? We're in sales, and there's transactions that are just miserable. And me and you have both gone through them and been there for each other when we're just like, I don't
Exactly.
want to do this anymore. Like, this is just
Exactly.
uncomfortable. But I think one of the things that you can think about in those kind of circumstances that is that those circumstances can define you later. They can make you stronger later. They can remind you how good it is when it's not, you're not being dragged down by problems, etc.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that was really hard, man. Like lose a house over there, because over here, if you do in the U.S., you lose your house, you rent an apartment, nobody gonna judge you. Like
Right.
your neighbor will not. But over there, what happened is the neighborhood know each other, know the life of each person, because these people they don't sell their house, they live for life over there for
Very close
decades,
knit.
from generation to generations,
Yeah.
and it was really hurtful. And the people back then it was really hurtful, those words that
I'm
they
sure.
was telling me. I could have played the victim and just go, I don't know, drugs or
Right.
whatever excuse you want to put just to destroy yourself. But I didn't, and this is the best thing that it can bring. Like you need to show me. Like I say, one day when I was going through the foreclosure of the
Mhm.
house from my parents, I told to myself, because sometimes talk to yourself is the best thing you can do, man. So I talked to myself and I said, one day I'm gonna show these people that this I'm gonna
Right.
be bigger. I'm gonna have things. So I was using, and that's the thing. Sometimes the bad experience, the bad moments, the hard things that you're going through, you need to use it as a gasoline to
Yeah.
power you up, to go up, to lift you up, man, and head up. So I would tell. So when I came to the US after I went to 2 years to college, so on that third year, so when I came to Virginia, I was able to save a little bit more money, because the company that I work for, they gave me a tuition of $6,000 that I was using toward my degree,
Mhm.
and so I was using the money, and then I was able to save more money. And I will tell you, after 3 years that I was in the U.S., I bought the house back for my parents,
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
the people, the house that we lost them in.
You said
And
3 years
then
after being in the US?
after 3 years to be in the
Wow.
US.
Yeah.
The first year I was not able to do it because I was paying for
Sure.
my college and everything. But after 1 year that I was saving, so I was able, and that was one of the biggest rewards. Give back the house to
That
my
had to feel
parents. That thing, it really my feelings. It really it's very emotional. But and then I started from there, man. I started from there, and so that little house, we make it better because we make it bigger, the house, we
Mhm.
put water, electricity, and everything. So now it's a decent house that
Sure.
there was there. And so I come over here and I was coming to do the right things, to work hard
Mhm.
and make my way up. Because you can be whoever you want, but do it the right way. Because if you want to be in this business, especially in real estate, do the right things. Because this is by reputation. And
Yeah.
reputation, it can take you years to earn it, but you can lose it in 1 second.
Very true.
So you need to think always, do the right thing to be in this business.
Treat your clients right.
So I started working, have a job in Cargill, poultry plant, where I started making $7.30. And then it was not hard to make I went make my way up on different levels. First I was in production, then I was lead person number two, then I went to management. And how I made it was like I was a hard worker. And the thing, this is the key for success: be a hard worker. Hard worker kill any talents, man.
Sure.
So be a hard worker, be consistent, be persistent, and my people they was liking me. So I was working hard, and then I become one of the best supervisor because I got one of the highest engagement in the whole plant, man. So people like to work with me on when they do the engagement. So they do engagement survey, and I got the highest score. That thing was it. And then when I was working in the poultry plant, there was not many people who speak English in the area. So I was going to translate for all these people and help them. I was in jails, I was in hospital, clinics, and that's how I came to the real estate too, because there was somebody that I went to translate for a realtor. So we went, and I see there was a real in a nice car dressed, and I say, "Oh, that's the job that I wanted! Yes!" I didn't have no idea what I was getting. Sometimes you can see like it's dressing well and everything,
Yeah.
but you don't. And this is the thing: never limit yourself to be what you want. Never limit yourself to grow and reach your goals, and succeed in your life. So man, I went while I was taking those classes in college. I took the real estate class too. In
Sure.
that class, and I got 100% ace.
Oh,
And I passed, that test that first time. Yeah, actually, that's a hard,
that is hard.
test.
I know a lot of people that don't that speak English
It's a hard
natively.
test, and especially English was my second
Yeah,
language, and it
can
was
imagine.
really hard for me. But when when you wanna put your effort, your dedication, and your target, your goal, there is no obstacles. There is nobody can stop you. It depends how bad you want it, how much you believe in yourself. I think my confidence on myself was bigger than my reality, man. But I
But
went for
you put in the work too, because obviously you had to work to get it 100% of the class to be able to pass. You had to learn. You couldn't just
yeah.
have confidence.
You
And I mean, you
that
put in the
that
work.
the thing was that I had to study double probably or triple
Hmm.
because it was not the language that I feel comfortable because it was really limited back then my English, and but I went and studied, got an A, and then I went past the test and I passed it, and I say yes. So then and this is the funniest thing how I get to the real estate. So the lady who was renting me, because I was living in Norway Street and then I live in Hawking Street,
Yeah.
which was one of the lowest neighborhood there. The lady who was renting us, she had a firm, she had a real estate firm
Mhm.
with her husband. So I went there to ask for a job. So the husband went to make a joke to one of his friends that they had another firm. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna hire you, he's gonna be your boss. And he sent me to the other firm,
This is a
and
completely different
and
firm.
it was a different firm. The
Yeah.
guy didn't have an idea. And I say, hey, this broker sent me over here and said that he hired me for you. And he said, oh, he just did a joke. We're gonna play with him and I'll hire you.
And then you became the best. Tell me
And then
how fast,
and
how many did you sell your first 6 months?
in my first year, the first 6 months that I was in real estate, I
Mhm.
sold 23
That's
houses.
crazy.
23 houses, man. Not even the realtor that was longer in that firm didn't sold that many houses. Yeah, there was somebody else who sold more than me, but I was the second top producer on that year. That
To
was my
start
first year.
and do that much is nuts.
And do the match,
Wow.
yes. And then that guy, he told him, you think your joke just make me money because you bring me one of the best realtors?
He got the last laugh.
Exactly.
Ronald, as you started getting successful in real estate, you were, and you can get into this a little bit too if you want. You were working two jobs. And you were still, because Ronald worked his way up in the poultry plant and was a top. Everybody was probably jealous of his job, like that he was working with. So he had a really good job, and he was doing really well with real estate. But as you started seeing all the success and started seeing more money come in, what did you immediately move up in house, move up in cars, or did you start investing, or what would be your advice when somebody starts seeing success in their
Okay, and this is a really good question, man. And I will point these sentences there, where a lot of people, when they start making money, they start seeing the money. The first thing is thinking yourself first. Oh, I'm gonna buy me this big house because now I can afford it. I have the DTIs. I can buy this big car, but don't put yourselves on debt. I think this is the biggest mistake that we do when we start making money. I think first is when you start making money, you start investing
Yeah.
because your money, it will be the money who will pay your lifestyle later on, and you can have a better lifestyle when you as soon as you start making money. You buy real estate, you buy stocks, or you can invest your money. For me, I can only suggest you real estate because that's what in my experience has worked the best.
You know it. You're the professional, so why not invest in what you know, right?
Exactly.
Do you understand stocks well? If you're not a, honestly, even if you're a stockbroker, do you understand it as well as the agent understands real estate in their local market? Probably not, because it's not like you understand every single business that's being invested in. Anyway, you, I think one of the things you said that I really like, and I think it's, are you feeding yourself now? Are you feeding the Ronald right now, or are you feeding the future Ronald? If you increase your lifestyle now, even you're seeing more money, you could. that's just going to be something you have to sustain from here on out. Instead, you're building this big monster of a cash flow, passive income to feed later, Ronald, and your lifestyle can stay lower while you're building up that passive income that then allows you to raise your income or your lifestyle. So if your passive income gets bigger, you can start increasing your daily expenditures and live a little bit more lavishly.
Yeah. So what I did is instead to start buying like my dream house and a nice car, I still like having the same lifestyle with a decent house that was living and my car that was driving me. So I didn't think on these big things first, but I thought that I need to create a passive income where I can buy properties. And I think, man, that was the best decision that I did because I bought those properties really cheap back then
How many
compared
doors
to
do you
now.
have now?
Right now, I have 30 rentals properties.
Awesome.
So I start buying those properties little by one. As more property you're getting more stronger financially.
Yeah.
You're getting more power to yourself. And then, so when I went to the point where I feel comfortable, where I feel that my passive income is going to start paying a better lifestyle, why not? Why not, man? You deserve it the best and go for it. When you can, go for it. You know, I
Yeah.
don't have nothing against to that. That's what I did when I got the rentals. When I started getting like so many rentals, and I saw those rentals, so I say, Ronald, this is your life that you deserve the best too. So I built my dream house in a
Hmm.
golf course. I buy my nicest cars, but I was able to pay. I was able to pay for those cars cash, not going to the dealer and have those things. But in your lifestyle, it will be paid off from your passive income.
Yeah.
And you need to, as a real, and that's what I'm telling every realtor. You need to create like a renter, like a passive income, because in this business, 1 month you can make ton of money. No, 4 months you're not gonna make anything. So you need to have a different source of incomes in the real estate business, and that way you're not gonna suffer if any crisis, anything come. You will be ready. You'll be prepared and move forward. Take that advantage. Even if we're
Yeah.
going through a recession, take that advantage. Go and buy those foreclosures
Gotta
and make
keep
a
going.
rentals, make a fleet. So don't you sit complaining, whining, the economy, the government, no, it's your fault. We need to take advantage of any situation. The market is good. Go and sell, work harder, work night shift, day shift, and whatever. But
Work harder. You only have control of what you have control over, which is yourself.
exactly.
I think one of the things I've thought about here with real estate, like when you get into the career, you don't have benefits, right? You're not getting health insurance covered. You're not getting your company matched 401k. But what we do have is we have knowledge, we have flexibility, we have the ability to invest in our own markets. It doesn't have to be in your own market, but we know real estate. And then on top of that, we get incentives. So like instead of having a 401k, you're stocking away money and every month or whatever. You don't see that until you retire. With rentals, you see those. You see the passive income. You can start building a life that frees you from. You can retire early if you want to, for example. But then on top of that, you're a real estate professional if you're a realtor, right? So check with your accountant, but there are tax incentives to be a real estate professional. You can force depreciate your rentals and get your tax income dropped significantly. So look into that. This is an opportunity. I'm always blown away with how little realtors actually invest in real estate or have maybe one rental or two rentals that they've accumulated over time. But if you've been in the business for a while, reinvest in yourself, invest in your future. You don't want to be that agent that's needing to work at 90. We're back in. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but this is a good opportunity to move into Ronald. What keeps you going? What keeps your mentals right? How do you keep your mental health good so that you are able to perform at your level and have this kind of attitude all the time?
I think that's one of the most important things, man. Your mental health, you be positive, you have your mind clear, and you have a clear goals where you want to be. So that's essential on anybody who wants to be here, man. You have to be strong in this business, especially in real estate. You
Yeah.
need to have those that thick skin. So be strong emotionally, be consistent because over here it's not like one day your high, your we understand now all the time you can have your high
Yeah.
energy, your high positiveness, but be at least consistent and always think positive, always hope and wait for the best thing is coming to you. So when you
Yeah.
have the kind of energy, the kind of vibe, the kind of positiveness, everything come together, things how it's blooming, how things are getting up, getting together, how business can coming close, how business you can get it and how you can move forward. So it's very important to feed your brain, feed your mind, to change your mindset. If you see that that's not the results that you getting is not that what you want, is something wrong there. You need to change the way that you're thinking, the
Yeah.
mindset. So one thing, and I will share with you that helped me was I read a lot of books about those books that help you to grow, those books that it tell you know these people went through so hard things but they came up and they become millionaire. There was a book that he called the millionaire mind of T. Harv Eker.
Hmm.
That book changed my life, man,
Okay.
because it made me think different. It made me see the life different way. How rich people think is different. And then it teach you too, like how to surrounding with the people who help you to grow, who help you to have a better attitude, who help you to have a better decisions. And don't be afraid to invest, to go forward. It was really hard for me when I was in the two jobs and I had to take a decision because real estate, man, it was going crazy on me.
Hmm.
And I had the other job too. So it was two good jobs. One job that I had all the benefits, it was a salary, it was a stable job. And in the other side, in the other hands, I had real estate that I was doing good, but I didn't have no benefits. It
Not
was
here,
risky.
really. Yeah.
So it was really hard. A lot of people, like probably 90% of the people told me, stay with your salary job, with your secure job. Stay with that.
It's a good job.
It's a good job, man. You work so hard to go to get there. My dreams and my ambitions, it was bigger than that. And I say, even against to the opinion of everybody,
Hmm.
I went with the real estate because this is what the reason that I did it is because
We had problems again. So we just use this make a simple workout, finish this thing. Ronald, yeah, you were just saying that you transitioned into real estate. It was a big jump for you. It was scary. Everybody was saying you're crazy for doing it, but look at you now. Was it the right decision?
it was the right decision, man. And I think even those it wasn't gonna be what I wanted or it was not gonna be the successful that I got. I think it because it's better try to do it than you never try it and then you will regret it because at least you try it. And what
Yeah,
happened is
absolutely.
I will tell you this thing that a lot of people they don't say they don't want to talk about it. But when you work for a company like I did,
Hmm.
you put in a roof to your income. But when you work for yourself, real estate commission or flips or whatever, the sky is the limit.
Sure.
And you
There's no
work
safety
hard
net.
and you make the money and you're gonna be like buying your own flips, having more rentals, having a better lifestyle, and be happy. And also at the same time, enjoy the journey from the beginning. Don't wait until you have the dream of your house, you're gonna be happy. No, enjoy the
You can be
journey
happy
from
in
the
the most
beginning.
simple house.
Exactly. That's nothing. There is a lot of people that just get miserable on the jobs. Enjoy your job. No matter what you do, enjoy it and be the best. If you're a sweeper, be the best sweeper.
Yes.
If you're a realtor, try to be the best realtor. But be the best.
That's awesome. What would you say is your best real estate investing advice you could give somebody?
I think my best advice to give to somebody is invest in real estate and rentals. If you can do flips when you have more experience, do it.
I love it.
Because real estate with the times always go up. If you buy a car, will lose the value. But houses, they don't lose the value with the time.
Right.
They just getting more value. It's getting more expensive. And can you
Other people are
imagine?
paying it down. Your debt on it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can you imagine if I was not going to start buying those houses when I buy some houses for 100,000? Now we cannot find any house like that. So
And then another thing that I make a point I make a lot is people talk about interest rates and it's not the greatest time to buy. If you can buy it, because when interest rates were low, this man over here, Ronald, refinanced like his whole portfolio and he wouldn't have been able to pick up 16 houses
yeah,
if he was just buying them then at that lower interest rate, and there would have been a ton of competition. He accumulated properties over time. Then when there was a good opportunity, and then there was other investors I saw that did this too. They just some of them consolidated their debt into one big mortgage. So there's just don't wait for the perfect opportunity.
yeah,
You can buy. If it breaks even, it will get better. Of course, you can be more savvy about your investing, but I think it's more important to do, to act, to build, to invest. Ronald, do you have a biggest? You already talked about your best ever book recommendation, The Millionaire Mind. And then, do you have the biggest success you could talk about? What would you say is your biggest deal you ever completed, or the biggest success in general?
my biggest success, my biggest success, it's been an accomplishment for, if I will summarize, my success is being that no matter what you have went through, don't play the role of victim. Don't become the victim blaming other people's, saying these people did this to me, these other people did this to me, and be able to come up no matter what. And you heads up. And I think my biggest success is being the strength that the life has shown me. And it's not like what I acquired for what I have now. No, I don't think it's about that. But I think my biggest success that I have, if I would say, what is your biggest success? I would say is was the mentality that I put into to get me out of the environment where I grow and be somebody different from my family and step out the box, and which is okay, man. But I think that's one of my biggest success. And as another biggest success will be my two daughters.
Of course,
So
that's awesome. They're great girls. Do you want to talk about your the biggest mistake, the biggest hardship that you went through?
I would not say it was the biggest mistake, but I would say it was a learning experience. When I was working in two jobs, I had saved $130,000. And then one member of the family advised me to buy a restaurant. I was trying to succeed. So I went to the wrong business. That's what I'm
Mhm.
calling, because one thing is I didn't have no experience on restaurants. I bought this restaurant, and the restaurant they was selling because it was not making money. And the restaurant already had a bad reputation. I only could handle it like for 6 months. And that was my worst part, that I the most challenge, the most challenge times that I
Yeah,
went through, because I ran out of money because the restaurant was not making money. I always had to pay food, taxes, everything that it costs to
yeah.
run the business. And so, to make the story short, I went to the point where I say, I need to close it, sell it, or give it away. I give it away to somebody. I say, you can take it. I just want to be out. So when I get out for that business, man, I get out with $30,000 in debt, all
Ouch.
the savings, all the investment that I did, it was gone.
Mm,
And during that time, I remember like all my credit cards was maxed out, my bank account was overdraft, and I went to there was a gas station. I went to the gas station to put gas on my car. I only had $5 on my pocket cash. I put $3 and like put $3 in gas. And I left $2 because I didn't want to be without any dollar in my pocket. Man, that day I cried in my car.
mm.
But you know what? That was one of the learning experience, because that day I promised to myself that I will never, never go back to be in that situation.
Wow.
And you know what? Yeah, I lost everything in that moment, man, with that restaurant. I still some has because I already had bought like a few rentals, so I still had it there. But it was I had everything to go to bankruptcy. I took the ownership. I said this was my decision who took me here. Why this company had to pay for me? You had to choice when you go through. I had to lose everything. I didn't have no money in my bank. My credit card was over like to the limit. And then so what I did later on, I say I left the restaurant. And that day was the day that I feel that I took off a big load off my shoulders.
I bet.
And a lot of people, you have to choice. Or you go to depression, or you go to drink, or you go to blame other people's, or you go to do other stuff
Yeah.
just to destroy yourself.
Yeah.
Or you have this one,
Yeah.
lift up yourself, get up, and go back to the game. And I say, I'm gonna work harder. The first one it was really hard, but I was working harder and harder. Like a year later, man, I was out of that. Then I had to take the decision to leave my other job. So I will tell you, when I left my other job, everybody was against, don't do it. So in my first year that I did just real estate, the full year that I did just real estate, I make 4 times more money than I was making before with 2 jobs and only with one job.
That's amazing.
Because sometimes you put all the energy, you put all your effort, you had the time to show houses to clients, you see what you had to do to grow your business, and always had this positive attitude even though you're going through a hard times. But the positive attitude, it will take you out and will make you stronger, powerful, and will make you to conquist your dreams.
I love it. This has been an amazing conversation. I think that some of the highlights that I have is I think complete ownership of your situation. That's one thing that you talk about and believe in deeply. So you're not blaming other people for your misfortunes. Of course, bad things happen, but ultimately, it's the only thing you can control is what you have control over, and which is yourself. And that's how you can really take ownership of your life and make decisions that will get you to where you want to be. I think positive attitude is another really big thing. Working really hard is another really big thing. Anything don't let anything, and this is something I definitely observed in you as well, just knowing you and being your friend, is I think that there's nothing there could be somebody that says something to you that's not kind or whatever, but you don't let it roll. You let it roll off your back. You're focused
Exactly.
on what you need to get to, and letting that person drag you down isn't going to help. It's not going to get you further. So let's keep going.
No, you like in this life, in this business, man, you need to choose your battles
Mm.
and focus on what will be proactive for you. Focus on what will gonna bring you money. Focus on what will gonna make you happy. You cannot control the behaviors or things from other people, but you can control yourself and be the person when other people attack you. Just being in your feet and be strong and just let them come apart. Don't let they throw you at the same level. So
That's just
it's
showing their
when you don't
weakness.
let those things get you inside of you and you show to them that you're stronger, that you are somebody that are where you are because you went through so many things and those things make you stronger.
I love it. Ronald, if somebody wants to follow you on social media, is there a good place to do so or reach out to you?
Sure, you can follow me on my Facebook, Ronald Flores, or my TikTok, Ronald Flores.
I love it. Thanks so much for being here, Ronald. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Wealthy Investor Podcast, where we talk about wealth and holistic health. If you enjoy our content, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to hear new episodes every Thursday. If you really like our content, you can follow us on social media at The Wealthy Investor, wealthy spelled Wellthy.